There's many people that leave the workforce prematurely. They do basic gig type jobs from home to try to like supplement the income a little bit, but they end up living on like the parents' money, the parents' Social Security, or it is different in different states, but we need way more support options. I facilitate a support group. That's great, but it's an hour and a half a month. That's only, fraction of the day.
Yeah.
We need way more support, and we need employers to be more supportive. We need our state governments to be more supportive. That's my soapbox all the time.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think there's definitely a shortage of caregiver support from all aspects, really, of our community and our culture. Is there are so many millions of unpaid caregivers across the country, and we don't have enough resources and people to come alongside them and give them the support and the resources that they actually need. Actually, before we even started recording this, Jennifer and I were talking, and she had mentioned even, I wish employers would start offering adult daycare for parents, right? Not a lot, maybe some employers offer daycare for children, but what about even adult daycare for parents? Being able to have your parent on premise or even nearby, how helpful that could be if they're actually relying on you for care, how that even could be extremely helpful to some unpaid caregivers.
Well, the other thing is when you commingle children and, grandparent aged people, even if you have a cognitive impairment, you may be very happy to play blocks for a long time with a young child. Whereas, you and I are probably like, oh my God, I don't want to do this.
Right.
My daughter just turned 31. So I still remember some of those days. And I interviewed a church that had a program. They had an adult day program where in the morning, they brought over the preschoolers, and the adults played with the kids, read to the kids if they still had the visual processing skills for reading. And in the afternoon, they would bring over like fifth graders. And some of the men that were there could help with, homework. Some of the women could too, and it was sort of like grandchild time, even though they weren't blood related. And in talking to their director, the one thing that I learned was the children are benefiting, the older adult is benefiting, but guess who is also benefiting? The caregiver in the middle, because they're boosting each other. The children are boosting the older adults are boosting the children. Then you take your child and your parent home, and they've had this really great day, and now you're not dealing with, sundowning or toddlers melting down, or God forbid, both,
Right. What a cool concept.
Yeah. And it's like, why do we not have that? Why is that not more of a thing? I mean, we have a childcare shortage, and, we have a, caregiver shortage in this country for older adults, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse, and COVID made it worse. But I was going to go back to your statistics. So according to the Alzheimer's Association, there are over 16 million unpaid family caregivers for Alzheimer's patients. Isn't necessarily the right word, but for this, we'll use that one. And I know for a fact that's an undercount, because I didn't consider myself a family caregiver until I went to my first support group. Yeah. And she said, even if your person is in the care community, you are still a caregiver. And I was like, oh. So I can guarantee you there are many people's spouses that are not considering themselves caregivers. And we give almost, and this number we're almost up to and surpassing $1 trillion in free care every year. That's why we don't have more support, because who the heck wants to pick up that tab?
Wow.
That's an insane
Well, if
number.
you have an insurance policy, if you have an insurance policy and you meet the contract language, they're picking up the tab. So that is a good reason to look at insurance.